Today I'm testing out and reviewing the Watercolor Confections Pastel Dream Set. So that's the box those come in, and those are all the colors that are included. The box contains this swatch sheet where you can swatch all your colors, and those are the ones. And here you can see the packaging. It's such a cute packaging. I also filmed the unboxing, but unfortunately I lost the footage of that, but it's okay. On the back of the page it says that it's artist quality and that it's light fast and many things like that, and we are going to see if that's true or not. And this is the box. I think it's such a cool box. It's a small tin, and I actually already have two other tins that look almost exactly like those, and one of those has my Daniel Smith watercolors and the other one has all my gouache colors. So those are so practical and useful, and even if the paint is trash, it's not a waste of money, or not a complete waste of money, because those tins are really cool. And I also put some of my Winsor & Newton Cotman colors in there. You can see now I'm pointing at the Prima Confections watercolors for this video, and I only painted with those. I tested if they were chalky and if they would rub off to my finger. Here you can see it compared to the IKEA paints. Those are way worse. But the colors are a bit chalky, not gonna lie. I tested whether they are opaque or not. In the back of my sketchbook I have this page spread where I only do swatches. You can see that those are very messy. And yeah, they are kind of opaque, you can see here. And with watercolors you don't want them to be opaque. You want them to be as transparent as possible so you can layer and glaze them and get beautiful watercolor effects. But I have to say that I was expecting that, because it's a pastel watercolor set. There are light tones in there, and to be honest, pastel watercolors aren't really a thing, because when you want a lighter tone of a watercolor, you just use less pigment. So those pastel colors are kind of pointless, but let me explain why I got them. So I watched a video of Lioba Brückner and she reviewed those, and she was saying that she tends to use too many dark colors, and that this set keeps her from using too dark colors, and that it's a fun thing just to experiment with and to do pastel artworks with. So I was thinking like, yeah, I use way too dark colors sometimes. They get muddy and I just use too many colors and just too dark values. So I thought that this is kind of interesting and I would like to try that, because I really like pastel colors. So while I'm talking about all that, I am painting some sweets and treats, some candy on there, because the palette really reminds me of candy, because you have two brown tones and all these other colorful tones. And yeah, I think that I read somewhere that it's inspired by candy. I just wanted to use all the colors, and that was the perfect theme, and I just filled this page in my sketchbook with them. And I really wanted to paint with them to make sure that I know what they are like to paint with, because when I only do swatches I can't really tell you whether they are good or not. When I bought them, or I should say that my boyfriend bought them, because I was quite annoying, and so he bought me those because I was talking about them non-stop after watching Lioba's video. Yeah, they were about 25 euros, I think. I don't know if they're cheaper or more expensive in dollars. I don't know. I'm gonna link them down below, the Amazon links of the German and the US Amazon. So if you wanna take a look at those, just go ahead and take a look at those. So, do I recommend those? Yeah, like I said, I bought them to experiment with, to have some fun with, not to build a complete palette. I wasn't expecting them to be a complete palette. And if you buy a pastel color set, you aren't really expecting to buy primary colors or anything like that. So they're not really a palette on their own to use. And I know that Prima, the watercolor confections, has a lot more colors. You can buy so many more. So I would not recommend those, because do not buy other colors, I'd say, because the quality compared to the price isn't as good. They are kind of jockey, and I've been painting a bit more with them since I recorded the visual footage of this video. And I have to say that when they dry, the paper feels kind of rough, or the paints feel rough on the paper. And it's so hard to draw if you do line art afterwards, like I did here, or if you use a white gel pen on top. It's just super hard. Sometimes it works, but sometimes it's really, really hard. And I also have to say that I absolutely do not believe that those are artist grade paints. They claim to be artist grade, but in my opinion, for an art supply to be artist grade, it has to be absolutely high end. It has to be the best product out there, because quote unquote real artists use that in their job as the main tool, and they are selling the pieces. So it has to be the absolute best thing out there, and they're just not. I highly doubt that they are light fast. I'm gonna try and see if they are. I'm gonna do some swatches and hang them on my window and compare them to other swatches. And I'm going to see if they're light fast, and I'm going to keep you guys updated on that. In case you're watching this video later, maybe I've already updated that, so take a look at the description box. Maybe I have said something about that already. So I think they're a lot of fun if you're going to use them for a personal project, if you're going to use them in a sketchbook, and especially if you're looking for something that's pastel. And I know the pastel watercolors aren't really a professional thing to have, because like I said earlier, you can't just use less paint and more water. But they're fun to use, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and with doing some experiments. But if you're really looking for some serious paints, don't buy those. Rather buy the Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolors. I don't know if those are light fast. They're not artist grade as well, they're student grade, but I think they're in about the same price range, and they're much better than those. So I'd go for those rather than the Prima ones. But if you're looking for some fun colors, like the Pastel Dream set, and I think they also have some other fun things, then maybe try those out just for fun. If you have some money left, or if you have a birthday coming up, it's a nice thing to have. You can't really go too wrong with those, because they're not super expensive. So you can give these a go, but don't expect the absolute world of them. They're not the best paints out there. And obviously I painted a galaxy on the other side. So you can see the pastel colors on the left side, and a bit darker painting, so to say, on the right side. I really hope that you liked this video, and if you did so, please give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to my channel. I'll see you next week. Goodbye!